And across the table, Peter is motioning him to ask Christ who it was that would betray him. When this preacher I heard talked about John having his... Think about the life that beats in your heart. What is that energy that caused your heart to start beating the moment your father's seed, your mother's egg were fertilized and your life began to take shape? The life in that brought about the life that's beating in your heart right now, pumping the blood in your arteries and veins. And that energy, that life, has been transmitted from your parents and their parents and their parents and their parents all the way back to the first moment God breathed into Adam's nostrils the breath of life, and he became a living soul. That transmission of life has not ceased since the first man was created. Talk about power in creation. And John, that same power was beating in the heart of Jesus Christ. And John the apostle had his ear that far from the source of the universe. Somebody got to meditating on that. When I heard him preaching this, I was, wow, I never thought of it that way. See, our concept of God is too small. When we approach God, to approach God and just recite a bunch of words that we memorized in kindergarten is to insult Him. You insult Him by saying, you know, I hope I got this right, God. And you recite something, it takes you 15 to 20 seconds. You learned it in kindergarten or catechism or wherever it was you learned it. And you've been told that when you're in a bind, when you're in a jam, you don't know what else to do, start repeating the Lord's Prayer. Everything will be fine. It won't be fine. All you're indicating is you don't know God. You've never met Him. You've never been born again. You don't know what else to say because that's all you know. All right, let's bring this to a close. Isn't it something the Lord Jesus said, when you pray, don't just repeat the same thing. Because that's what the heathen do. But when you pray something after this manner. And He begins to give them the different elements of that prayer. And of all the prayers that people like to repeat, the very one Jesus told them not to repeat is the one they repeat. I mean, right in the context, the very same prayer He told them not to repeat. Don't just say the same thing over and over again. That's the one they like to do. But prayer ought to be rich. Prayer ought to mean something. Prayer ought to draw you close to God. I hope it does. All right, let's bow for prayer.